As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hi, Grace. Are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I know there are women like my best friends who would have gotten out of there the minute their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide. But I didn't. I gotta admit the truth, it turned me on. know there are women like my best friends who would have gotten out of there the minute their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide. But I didn't. I gotta admit the truth, it turned me on.
If you touch her again, you're dead! That's you!
There are women like my best friends who would have gotten out of there the minute their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide. But I didn't. I gotta admit the truth, it turned me on.
It was easy for all of us to disappear. My house was in my mother-in-law's name. My cars were registered to my wife. My social security cards and driver's licenses were phonies. I never voted. I never paid taxes. My birth certificate and my arrest sheet. That's all you'd ever have to know I was alive.
See him here in the courtroom today? Yes. Would you please point him out to the members of the jury? Your Honor, please let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified defendant James Conway. Mr. Hill, do you also know a man by the name of Paul Cicero?
Yes.
You see him here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point him out to the members of the jury? Your Honor, let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant, Paul Cicero. Your Honor, I have a document that I'd like to have marked.
See, the hardest thing for me was leaving the life. I still love the life. We were treated like movie stars with muscle. We had it all just for the asking. Our wives, mothers, kids, everybody rode along. I had paper bags filled with jewelry stashed in the kitchen. I had a sugar bowl full of Coke next to the bed.
People call him rats, so rat will do anything to survive. Isn't that right, Mr. Hill?
Objection!
I don't know nothing about being a rat.
Mr. Hill, you know everything about being a rat.
Objection, Your Honor. In view of the violence...
Anything I wanted was a phone call away. Free cars, the keys to a dozen hideout flats all over the city. I'd bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend, and then I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to pay back the bookies. Didn't matter. Didn't mean anything. When I was broke, I would go out and rob some more. We ran everything. We paid off cops, we paid off lawyers, we paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. And now it's all over. And that's the hardest part. Today everything is different. There's no action. I have to wait around like everyone else. Can't even get decent food. Right after I got here, I ordered some spaghetti with marinara sauce and I got egg noodles and ketchup. I'm an average nobody. I get to live the rest of my life like a schnook. back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What happened? What happened? You all right?
Yeah,
Well, now who did what?
guys who lived across the street from me that I've known all my life. He started to touch me. He started to grab me. I told him to stop. He didn't stop. I hit him back. And then he got really angry. He pushed me out of the car.
You sure you're all right? Huh? Why don't you go inside and get yourself together? Clean up.
You want fucker? You want some?
I swear my fucking mother, if you touch her again, you're dead! Don't shoot!
Hi, guys. Are you all right? Are you all right? Huh?
I know there are women like my best friends who would have gotten out of there the minute their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide. But I didn't. I gotta admit the truth, it turned me on.
People looked at me differently, and they knew I was with somebody. I didn't have to wait in line at the bakery on Sunday mornings anymore for fresh bread. The owner knew who I was with, and he'd come from around the counter no matter how many people were waiting. I was taken care of first. Our neighbors didn't park in our driveway anymore, even though we didn't have a car. At 13, I was making more money than most of the grown-ups in the neighborhood. I had more money than I could spend. I had it all. One day some of the kids from the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect.
Hi, Mom. What do you think? Look at my shoes. Aren't they great?
My God, you look like a gangster.